Yeah, Raobat.
Where are you? Select this here.
To your
Wait,
right.
okay, okay. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to know about resistance. You had mentioned about two Saturdays ago about the internal fight that we have with ourselves, and about the fear that we have, the disagreeable side of ourselves that we have to fight against. And I'd like to know, is that our soul that we're speaking about, or that nature part of our DNA?
When we speak about the battles that take place inside of ourselves, it's not our soul, it's the reality of what we've created ourselves into. We only fear the unknown. There's no reason to fear anything except the unknown. So when we're battling with ourselves inside, we're fighting parts of ourselves that we don't fully understand. So it must be alien information, or not alien. I mean by foreign information introduced to us. And that's done through the media. They introduce things in the media that are supernatural, that trigger fear centers or create what's called the unknown. When you watch a movie like The Matrix, you have to say to yourself, is that real? Is it possible that there could be a so-and-so? They're triggering something inside because it's now become the unknown. You follow? And so then we're now warring against our own self with the realities of life. Well, like I said earlier, is the concept of Jesus coming back real, or are we being lied to? So what happens inside? When I start questioning that, I start a war inside. Is Islam true? Is Islam false? You know what I'm saying? Is the Mahdi coming, and it keeps on going. Is Haile Selassie Christ? Is he not? And you can keep on going on creating these worthless battles until you lose sight of reality. And then you start dwelling on your reality. And then you can't see reality no more. Everything you see has some type of mystical interpretation. So if a guy is standing off in the distance and he's staring at you, you're saying, this guy's, he's trying to mind probe me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he looks over and he says, yo man, you look like my cousin. That's the end of your mind probe. But because you're already in this fake state of mind of paranoia, is a better word for it. You know what I'm trying to say? You just push that out the window and you go back and look for the next person to look at you. You're walking out the street, you say, people are following me. I know they're following you. You want cars there, black car. You know what I mean? You sit in the movie, the guy sitting behind you, comes behind you like, that's all that is. That's a war created by this fake society. And they must keep us in, I'm trying to convey a message. They must keep us imbalanced. They must keep us unfocused. You understand? They must give us Islam and then give us a million sects of Islam. They must give us Christianity, then give us a million denominations of Christianity. They must give us the Hebrew Israelites, the Rastafari. They must give us a whole bunch of things to keep us from becoming focused on the reality of any one of them. And what the reality of any one of them is change. How do I benefit from absorbing whatever I'm being taught by anybody? How does it benefit me? How does it put me in line with reality? How does it bring the best out of me and prepare me for my greatest fear, death? You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm calling it Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, or rock worship, or snot following, whatever the heck it is, how does it work with me? That's the focal thing. That's what they don't want you to get to. Because when you get to that point, you start saying to people, it doesn't make no difference whether you're a Christian or a Jew, whatever it is, as long as you're focused. As long as there's a reality behind all the crap. You could be a fierce black Muslim going down with this here, but at the base of the black Muslim philosophy, there's a belief in a God personified and getting out of here into the hereafter. The foundation. Forget the rhetoric of the white man's the devil and the gravity. All that there is part of the law of people who are stressed and feel abused. But at the base of the doctrine, what is there? Right? There's a heaven and a hell, basically. A righteous and an unrighteous, and a God. And if I went to a Sunni Muslim, I would come up with the same philosophy. Maybe it won't be colored the same way, but it'll still come down to, when I strip it away, there'll be a heaven and a hell, and a God. You know what I'm saying? And in the middle of that is me, afraid of whether or not I'll make it to heaven or hell. and any philosophy. So their fear is not the doctrines and dogmas or things that we preach. Their fear is this, us starting to come together and become focused, hanging out on Saturday night, laughing and joking, waiting for Sunday afternoon for questions and answers, gathering on Friday to do things together. We're starting to become focused, many different minds becoming one mind. And that's where the fear comes in. You follow what I'm trying to say? And that war does start inside, because I have to spend long hours teaching you people to care more about yourselves, how great you really were and are. And I have to replace this dogma of white Christianity, and I got to keep going over it because I look like a bad man the moment I talk about Christians. That's how well they got the doctrine stamped in our mind when Egyptians predate the Christians. And if I say, well, let's go back before Christianity, let's go back and become Jews then at least. Not stop. Why do we stop at Baptists? Let's go back to where Baptists come from. The word mikvah, the Hebrew word mikvah, is where they get the word Baptist from. Let's go back there and follow the Hebraic doctrine. Keep Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Shabbat, and the laws that Jesus really kept. And all of a sudden, the real Jesus is no longer important. You want a fake Jesus. You want a Paul-type Jesus. You want a Greek-type Jesus. I said, well, nigga, you ain't Greek either. So you never being Hebrew than you are being Greek. Then I become some kind of blasphemer, some kind of troublemaker, because I'm concerned about the type of doctrine that you put in my people's head that made them hate themselves, that makes them use drugs, that makes them do drive-by shootings, that makes them drop out of school, that makes them something you're teaching is wrong. And it's not working in the education system, and it's not working in the church. So something is wrong, and it's messing our minds up. And we're tired of it, and we're fed up, and we want to do something for ourselves. We want to re-educate ourselves, our way. And if all that we say about being Egyptian is hogwash, if it works for us the way that crap about Romulus and Remus worked for your ass, then I'm going to use it. Because I don't believe you was raised by no she-wolf. I don't believe no little Irish elves gave birth to you. And I don't believe God came down to earth and had sex for Mary to have Jesus. Now, if that worked for you and it made you a very powerful, worldwide, influential race of people where you in everybody's business, wrecking everybody's stuff, and nobody can get on their feet without you in there. So whatever that philosophy is, it worked for you. It's time for us to have our own stuff, our own philosophy that works for us. And I got to start by finding a place in the planet or on the planet where you see a reflection of yourself in greatness first. I can't do that in Christianity because Michelangelo already beat me to the punch and made everybody white. I can't do it in Buddhism because they already have everybody there Chinese. I can't do it in Hinduism because they already got everybody there as. You can't even do it in Islam because they have everybody there depicted as Arab. You can't do it in Hebrew nor Judaism because they have everybody there depicted as Jew. And you can't do it in Christianity because they got it based on the Greeks and the Romans and Euro Jews. So I got to find you. I got to search the planet. And I got to find your nose and your eyes and the various hair textures that we have and the various skin complexions that we have. I got to find you. And then I got to get you looking in that direction at yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then start telling you what you are and what you are not. And that's where it gets ugly. Because as I go back to Egypt and I look on the walls and I start seeing us of all different colors here, all different shapes, noses, hip shapes, all about us. I see that there. I don't see that in Ethiopia. I don't see that in Sudan because they made it against their religion to draw the pictures. So they cut off a visual contact with reality by making you think it's blasphemy to make images of God when Jesus is in the image of God. So it's all right for them to have a picture of Jesus in church as a white man, and at that point, imagery should stop. You hear me? And the Jews do the same thing. They got lions and Or they don't put human beings, but all throughout on the Torah, there's 2 lions facing right there. That's an image of a beast, according to Exodus. That's an image of something that walks on this earth. It's all right when they do it, but when I do it, Islam got mad when I made Muhammad a black man. The Muslims went ape. Plain simple thing is they lost their mind. When all you ex-Ansars know, that's the first thing they would approach your table with. Oh, what is this? That's Muhammad. Muhammad don't look like this. You met him? No, how you know he don't look like that? Well, history says history. You mean history? You don't mean no history. History. History don't say you say that because you want him to look like you. And we battled with that reality, didn't we? So he said, keep it. You can have that too. So now when I go to Egypt and you go to Egypt, you open books in Egypt in the library, you see you. So now you got something to focus on, a reality. You are the ancient Egyptians today. Now, we're all over the Congo, we're all over the world. What they call miscomplacement. We've been placed everywhere. We've been spread across the planet. So you find us in everybody's culture. But if you go back to what they're calling the first written language, and go back to the oldest found fossils in Uganda, in Kenya, in South Africa, you come back to the ancient Egyptians again. The Nubians, a group of people. So when I get you there, I say, okay, now look on the wall of Egypt. Open books and look and see yourself. See your nose, see your eyes, see yours, see it, see yourself, and interact with that reality first. Then worry about what we became after. Let me tell you about that. What I mean by that. What we became after means after we were Egyptians, then we became Hebrews. After we were Egyptians, then we became Muslims. After we were Egyptians, then we influenced the Greeks and the Hindus and everybody else. But first, we were Egyptians, and we had a culture and a way of life that we lived. You understand? And let's see some of the things we did. We built pyramids and obelisks and sphinx. You follow that? We dealt with chemistry, algebra, high math, electronics. We did eye operations, brain operations. We were circumcising before the Jews and the Muslims started circumcising. You see it on the wall in Egypt, and it predates the Quran and the Torah. We were braiding hair. You understand that? Way before they have locks mentioned in the Torah. Moses was educated in Egypt before he brought them the commandments. Jesus was educated in Egypt before he brought them the gospel. You follow what I'm saying? And there wouldn't be no Muhammad without the Torah, because the Quran or Quran ain't nothing but a copy of the Old and New Testament. And that was all of us. We were the Hebrews. We were the original Muslims, the original out of us, the original Moors. People came in and took our culture. Europeans came in and mixed in with us because we always had our arms open to welcome any and everybody. And people took advantage of it. They came into Egypt, the Hyksos, the Hittites, and mixed amongst us. And they put it down in their history books as if that's what Cleopatra wanted to do. And not that's the only thing she could do to keep the Romans from conquering and massacring her people. Make it look like she wanted to be tickled. Only you dirty-minded people pick that one up. You hear what I'm saying? So my job here is to come in first, give you Islam, open it up, lay it out in front of you, dice it up into pieces, and teach it to you. So when you look at Islam coming to you from anybody, from anywhere, you say, I ain't buying it. Try to hit one of us Ansars with Islam and watch us take you apart. Try to talk to us about the Bible, Christianity, and watch us take you apart. Talk to us about Judaism, Hebrew Israelites, whatever else you want to call yourself, and watch us take you apart. And then take you back to Egypt with us and point you at the wall and say, that's what you really are. That's where we started. Where did we go wrong?